As with other awesome features, these helicopters have begun firing rockets over eastern Ukraine. These attack helicopters were supplied to Ukraine by the Czech Republic as part of a package that also included weaponry and tanks, according to a report which came a few weeks ago. Recent social media footage shows that some of these helicopters have already begun aiding the Ukrainian army over the country's eastern region. These Mi-24 attack helicopters can be identified thanks to innovative Czech camouflage with huge Ukrainian flags on the fuselage. In addition, the new helicopter's tail booms include white stripes similar to those in use in Ukraine. According to Czech media, the first two helicopters were not retrieved from storage, but were flown directly from the flight lines as soon as they arrived. According to the U.S. Secretary of Defense, the Czech Republic will supply Ukraine with a substantial number of helicopters, tanks, and missile systems in 2022. Because the list of donated equipment is private, it's impossible to tell exactly how many Mi-24 and Mi-17 helicopters came from the Czech Republic. Ukraine's Center for Strategic Communications and Information Security of the Ministry of Culture and Information Policy has issued a photo that shows at least two Czech Mi-24V Hind assault helicopters arriving in Ukraine. On the fuselage are enormous Ukrainian flags, which conceal the helicopter's original Czech camouflage. In addition, they received white bands on their tail boom like other Ukrainian helicopters. Since the Czech Air Force bought these Mi-24V and Mi-35 helicopters in 2003 and 2005 as part of their repayment of Russian debt, serial numbers 3370 and 7353 have been allocated to them. In addition, according to rumors, the helicopters had recently undergone a major upgrade. Ukraine's Army Aviation is preparing to receive two Mi-35 helicopters, serial numbers 3362 and 3370, that were recently repaired by LOM Praha Helicopters and Kabeli. At Namest nad Oslavu, the 221st Helicopter Squadron in August of 2021, the Mi-35 3362 was delivered. They were reportedly transferred in late April, but it isn't clear when exactly they left the airspace. It is possible that a helicopter gift from Slovakia may have arrived in Ukraine on May 24th, after Slovakia's defense minister said that the country would be giving 4 Mi-17 cargo helicopters to Ukraine on June 16th. They were discovered on the road to their destination the next day. A total of 15 Mi-24-35 Hind attack helicopters and 20 Mi-17 HIP assault helicopters are available to the country's Air Force. Since early this year, Bell's Fort Worth, Texas plant has been producing AH-1Z Viper and UH-1Y Venom helicopters, which are expected to replace these helicopters in the near future. It is estimated that the Czech Republic will supply Ukraine with tanks, helicopters, and rocket systems in May 2022. Mi-24 helicopters secret employment Ukraine. Over the southwestern part of the country, a Russian Mi-24 Hind attack helicopter can be seen from the cockpit in a video shot in mid-April. There were many who assumed it was again another Russian bomber harassing Ukrainian forces in the east. However, despite the fact that Russian Mi-24 and Mi-35 Hinds have been engaged in the conflict, at least 6 have been verified lost. The new footage implies otherwise. Despite Russia's ground-based air defense missiles and jet fighters, Ukraine's own fleet of these Soviet flying tanks was still functioning. While the Hinds' long history in Ukraine is well documented, nothing is known about its role in resisting Vladimir Putin's 2022 invasion. However, despite the Mi-24's NATO designation being Hind, the Soviet term crocodile better reflects its ferocious nature. Mikhail Mill designated the Hind as a tank-like troop transport that could fly, unlike the agile American Cobra and Apache attack helicopters. As a result, in addition to the Mi-24's built-in machine guns or automatic cannons, as well as 6 hardpoints on the stub wings that can carry pods stuffed with unguided rockets, anti-tank missiles, additional guns, and even bombs, the Hind has a passenger compartment that can transport 8 soldiers for air assault operations. Russia's air mobile offensives against Mujahideen rebels in the Afghan mountains were spearheaded by Hinds and HIP transport helicopters transporting paratroopers in the 1980s. However, the U.S. smuggled in portable Stinger air missiles, which shattered this powerful duo. At the time of Ukraine's independence, the country had about 350 Mi-24s, most of which were used by the Army. Unfortunately, there are only about 142 left after they were all sold, mainly to African countries, and the rest were stored. Aside from these types, the other Hinds in service were Mi-24P Hind Fs, equipped with 2 side-mounted 30mm cannons, and Mi-24V Hind Es, armed with one 12.7mm machine gun in the chin turret, as well as Mi-24 VPs, armed with 2 23mm chin cannons. For many years, the 18th Independent Helicopter Detachment of Ukrainian Mi-24 and Mi-8 transport helicopters supported UN soldiers in Congo, Liberia, and Sierra Leone with thousands of combat missions. Ukrainian helicopters, supplemented at times by Indian Mi-35 Hinds, played a crucial part in stopping violent militias from causing even more loss of life in Congo DRC, though the UN force was too small for the task. The Ukrainian detachment retreated only a few weeks after Russia's invasion in 2022. The 7th Regiment is located in Lviv, and the mixed-type 16th and 11th Aviation Brigade, stationed in Brody and Kherson, had just about 50 Hinds when Russia took over Crimea in 2014. As pro-Russian separatists sought to destabilize the local government in eastern Ukraine, these troops were rushed to bases in Kharkiv, Dnipro, and Mariupol. In Slavansk, on the other hand, there was ferocious combat in which Ukrainian helicopter forces were brutally beaten by separatists armed with Russian heavy weaponry. After that, no action was seen. Ukrainian Hinds fight Russian invasion. Flight Global estimated that Ukraine had 34 operable Mi-24s prior to the outbreak of hostilities. Each brigade in Brody and Kherson had a full complement of 10 soldiers, while the 12th and 18th brigades in Novi Kalinov and Poltava each had 6, and the Congo detachment had 4 more. As early as the first day of the conflict, Ukrainian Hinds took part in an aggressive counterattack against Russian paratroopers in the Kyiv suburb of Hostomel, which led to the capture of Antonov Airport. Ukrainian Hinds may be seen firing volleys of rockets in the footage. An oil storage facility in Belgorod, Russia, was the target of a large fireball launched by 2 apparent Ukrainian Hinds around 5 a.m. on April 1st. Due to Russia's sophisticated air defense system, this operation required extraordinary bravado. Some have speculated that the attack was a Russian hoax, despite the fact that Ukrainian officials have denied any involvement. The damage was substantial, disruptive, and embarrassing to Russia's military, and fuel stores are hardly the most provocative of targets, all of which point to a Ukrainian attack. The raid has been widely publicized, but it does not appear to have become important to Russian propaganda. Videos of supposedly Ukrainian Hinds in action have been published. A 16th Brigade Hind, piloted by Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Marynyak Miroslavovich and Major Ivan Romanovich, was shot down over Kyiv's eastern suburb of Brovary on March 8th, despite Russian claims that they shot down multiple Ukrainian Mi-24s. A huge number of enemy soldiers, a cluster of fuel tankers, and enemy equipment are listed in the veteran pilot's posthumous decoration. Despite the lack of reported Mi-24 losses, it is possible that Ukraine's military is taking great care to preserve and deploy the aircraft only when necessary. Kyiv will have to decide if they want to attempt modernizing its Hinds again, although some analysts think it's not worth it, or acquire more contemporary attack helicopters from outside after the combat ends. We may not have seen the last of Ukraine's flying crocodiles when Russian forces resumed their offensive in eastern Ukraine in April. These Russian Mi-24s appear to be the Air Force's favorite for the foreseeable future, and it seems that these crocodiles are a nightmare for Russia's adversaries. Will the U.S. be able to stop these crocodiles? If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for regular military updates. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below. Thanks for watching.